Many have imagined republics and principalities which have never been seen or known to exist in reality. For how we live is so far removed from how we ought to live, that he who abandons what is done for what ought to be done will rather bring about his own ruin than his preservation. Niccolo Machiavelli. For those of you wondering, Florida Maquis, why don't we do as many Antarctica videos as we used to? Well, this is why. Machiavelli lived during the 17th century, the Renaissance in Italy, the great age of exploration, and even he came to this realization. Sometimes we just have to do what we have to do to not bring about our own ruination. I see images like this that are clearly illustrations, and I look at what we have found in Antarctica, and I find a striking similarity. I truly believe today's artisans are much closer to science than today's scientists are. They're much closer to the reality, and a lot of what they're creating in art is coming from their dreams, coming from their imaginations, which is where all science began. I have tried in other videos to tie in modern events to the reality of what Antarctica represents. And I have met with some success, but not as much as it was, say, 3 years ago. If it were up to me, truly, all I would do is investigate Antarctica and perhaps sing and play guitar. But this is the reality of this platform and truly every other. That this is what grabs the attention now. So, in today's video, we're going to be doing some investigation into Antarctica, but I wanted to lead in with that to explain why I have been trying to get people to move over to Patreon and to Twitch. Because the less the advertiser revenue algorithms on this platform matter, the more I can do things like that. And that goes for not just me, but a lot of other content creators as well. Jennifer Veterans for Truth, the Patriot Nurse. It applies to all of us. That on this platform, where it's free, there has to be a compromise made with those in charge, the powers that be. And it's unfortunate. But Twitch is a very interesting, not as well-known platform. It's all live, and in this particular case, in the background, we're playing this game based on Lord of the Rings. It's Middle-earth: Shadow of War, and it's truly just a backdrop. If you can think of maybe sitting around a living room with half a dozen of your friends and you've got the TV on and everybody's talking to each other and having a conversation, that's basically the exact same thing here. Except your computer screen or phone screen is the TV and everybody's just talking amongst themselves over to the right. It's a really great place to just take the gloves off, so to speak, like I've described before, and have a conversation about what's going on and not have it be so policed. And I guess I'll have to leave it there. But also wanted to say thank you to everyone who's actually watched yesterday's video about Antarctica. It is doing better than most of my Antarctica videos do. I'm not sure if the thumbnail has something to do with it, but I can't say it doesn't. So that's part of the reality too. Years ago, though, way back in 2018 when I first started doing these Antarctica videos, stevequail.com would share a lot of my stuff. And for some reason, I don't know if it had to do with my dislike for 45, he stopped doing it. The website stopped sharing my stuff. And that's when it all collapsed. I used to be able to get 70, 80, 100,000 views on a video pretty easy. And I haven't seen any of my stuff over here in at least a couple years for sure. So, anyway, it's hard to say, but if you want to see those old videos, and I have the playlist sorted by most popular, Go to the Florida Maki YouTube main page and go to playlists, and you'll see Antarctica. There's 338 different videos there. The playlist alone has 89,000 views, and it has them all ranked. And as you can see, I used to put the date right in the title so I could look real quickly and know when it was recorded. November, September, December, all of 18, August of 18. Those are all the top videos. And it was about 19 or 20 when all of a sudden everything just fell apart. And here's a video from January of 19. But after that, April of 19, everything fell off basically the cliff. I thought when mainstream science had announced they found a cavern 6 miles long, 1,000 feet high, and a mile wide, that people would start paying attention to the possibilities of Antarctica. But it's very clear that mainstream science is not interested in possibilities. They have ruled out imagination or thinking outside of the box completely. Those of you who have seen what they've done, especially to Jennifer Veterans for Truth, can attest to this. They don't care for anyone believing anything other than their canon. Even though I can show with stunning clarity, with satellite images, there are structures down there coming through the melting ice. Gabled roofs. Some have seen many other things. Clear 90-degree walls. A moat or a fence of some type around some type of a building. But in today's video, we're going to go to 6 different places. Now, we've been to these places before, but it's been a long time. Let's start here. Now, remember that first picture I showed with the steps? If you look clearly, let me get this angled right. You can see this shelf right here, this platform or terrace. And you can see over here to the right, steps going up. And you can see different areas where there are caves. But in this particular case, somebody has taken the time to meticulously create an arrow pointing toward this cave right here. And once again, I'll give you these coordinates and you can look at this for yourself. You can see the disturbances in the snow. You can see the stairway going up. You can see another stairway right here. Another cave. More disturbances. This area here is littered with evidence of human activity. And none of this is modern. None of this is anywhere near a known base. The structures are near perfect. Right angles or perfect curves. Something that was created. And not far from this, another smoking gun type of image. If you look closely, right here between these 2 cave openings, one here and one here, you can see 4 equidistant, either individuals or some type of vent structure. But equidistance doesn't occur naturally in nature. Go out into any natural forest and see if you can find even 3 trees that are equidistant apart, much less 4. And once again, is there anything else around that might make you think they're going somewhere or this is some type of event? Once again, a platform, a cave opening, something beneath. And it's not just the straight lines. Sometimes it's the curved ones. This one, to me, was absolutely mind-blowing. Now, you've got this big, snowy area here with all of these different platforms and stark corners and jagged edges. I want you to look real close at something. Look how perfectly curved this is. What is this? That would cast a shadow. It's clearly above whatever it's setting on. You can go all throughout this region and you can find all sorts of things that just do not make sense to just wind, ice, rock, and snow, seals, and penguins. And that's just one area. Over here, the same thing. Some of the strangest, quote-unquote, natural imagery you'll ever see in your life. What is this curved cutout right here? Why does this look like the top of a building? Why is this square? How many 90-degree angles can occur in one area before people would wake up and go, wait a minute, are we seeing what we think we're seeing? These are caves. These are caves and these are tunnels. There's clearly some type of a civilization down here that's moving back and forth from the surface and back underneath. None of this makes any sense to at least what modern science explains it to be. And we've showed this before. This was one of the more popular ones. Check this out. You see this opening right here? Now the satellite imagery is a little off in a couple of years. But as you can see, there's an opening, and whatever's coming out of or into this opening is causing some type of an effect on the snow outside. Something's either leaving a wake as it goes in, or heat's coming out and causing an effect one way or the other. But this is January 2012. This is 2010. It's not even there. It was created sometime between 2010 and January of 2012. Whatever this is. And the last one I'm sure many of you have already seen. In fact, I think even at one time Steve Quayle had covered this, had shown this. But still no explanation. There's absolutely no natural structure in the world that would appear in a shadow like this. You've got parapets. You've got a large trapezoid top structure here. Another part over here. This is clearly some type of ancient medieval type construction, or maybe even far older. And once again, they did a good job of covering up what the actual structure was, but in one layer, and that's the key. Looking through the layers, in one layer, they forgot to cover the shadow because of the angle of the sun. This was just an oops on their part, which means they already know. Somebody already knows something. So that's how we know modern science isn't science. At least not when it comes to Antarctica. You've got to wonder what's really hidden. And if they're so concerned about the melting of Antarctica, why isn't this being brought up? Nobody asks that question. Hey, we know that this whole climate change thing, whatever the reason is, maybe is not happening, but we know there's, this warm spell that's been hitting different parts of the planet for whatever reason. Could we take advantage of this? I mean, if we can't stop it, could we take advantage of it? Is there some silver lining we could get out of this event? Nobody's asking that question. And that's the real smoking gun. So, anyway, who knows what the next 100 years might bring if we can get the right people back in charge of science and looking into the real important issues that'll face us. God bless. Have a great week. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.